Hello gents and chicks, and welcome back to another video. It is time to talk about the Senate races again, because guess what? We have a few updates, not too pressing, but it is a few changes that, for example, Cook Political has done in their ratings, and it is mostly because they are expecting a few high profile entries, and in other cases there is fundraising numbers that is causing concern for someone. But I'm going to go through each of these current grey races. Now I'm going to start in the West Coast. Washington, even though Washington was a 5-point race in 2010, it is going to be safe Democratic this time. Same with Oregon. When it comes to Alaska, Alaska is a state that is going to see a race between an incumbent Rhino and a Republican challenger and probably a Democrat, and the risk that the vote is splitted and Murkowski runs as an independent and thereby allowing for a Democrat to win. The risk is certainly there, so I'm going to put Alaska in likely Republican. Now, Nevada is another one where we are expecting Adam Laxalt to announce soon enough, and he is going to be a quite strong challenger. It is the seat once held by his grandfather. He is the former Attorney General, and even though Trump is not going to be on the ticket in 2022 and neither is any other Republican presidential candidate, it is going to be a year where Republicans do have an edge thanks to the White House and Congress being held by Democrats. And I do believe that Laxalt is going to be in the nominee, and he can narrowly flip that, so I'm going to put it in the tilt Republican. In Arizona it's quite opposite, tilt Democrat, because even though Mark Kelly is getting a few high-profile Republicans to throw in their hats in the race now, he does have an edge. He is a master at fundraising. He is a quite popular politician among independents, and he's probably going to be challenged by the Attorney General of Arizona. But I still think that he's going to be a favorite to win that. Colorado, currently safe Democratic. I don't think I need to explain that. Cory Gardner lost his Senate race in 2020 by 9 points. However, Trump lost in the state by 13, which can tell you that Gardner vastly outperformed Trump. But the biggest difference this time, it is going to be a red wave year. It's not presidential year turnout, but it doesn't really matter because Gardner is probably not going to run, and even if they ran a good candidate like Mike Kaufman, I still don't think that they would come close to flipping Colorado. Colorado has just become a too blue state at this point. Now going to Missouri. Missouri should probably be safe, but I don't think I really seen many top names in that race, because Roy Blunt is retiring, and I don't have too much faith in the Democrats, no, in the Republicans, sorry, in the candidates, but it's still going to be a likely Republican one. Now Illinois, currently safe Democrat. It could change. It did go Republican in 2016. Last time this seat was up, it was an incumbent Republican seeking re-election, but it is still unlikely, and they would have to pick a really good candidate to make it competitive, because Tammy Duckworth is quite popular. Now, in the Cook Political Senate forecast, they have decided to place Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire and Wisconsin all to be more competitive. And I have said that I have faith in Nevada and Adam Laxalt, but if you go to the state of Wisconsin, it is quite a different scenario. I do know that the incumbent Ron Johnson could probably win by about 5 points, as he have done before, but even so, the Democrats have a quite good chance. If Johnson should retire, I know that the Republicans have Sean Duffy and Mike Gallagher, two very qualified US representatives, to take over the torch. So I'm going to put it in tilt Republican no matter what. Grassley, he still has not announced anything. I do believe that he is going to run again, actually. I mean, many people do. You have people like Strom Thurmond and Robert Byrd, who got like in their late 90s to 100 before they either died or retired. So assuming he is running, I will put that safe. Now in Ohio, I'm a bit disappointed in the Republican candidates. I was hoping for someone like Warren Davidson or someone who I viewed as better or more qualified. And yeah, I'm still going to put it in likely Republican. It's probably going to be safe after a while, but I have not seen a candidate in Ohio that fulfills my hopes for the Republicans in Ohio. Now going over to North Carolina, it is quite the opposite. In North Carolina you have quite many qualified Republicans. You have former Governor Pat McCrory, who I think is a good guy, but he is quite unpopular because he has some baggage. And you also have Mark Walker and Ted Budd, a former and a current US representative. And even though I think all of them could win, I think that Budd might have the biggest shot currently. But in any regard, I'm going to put it as a tilt Republican. Could become lean, but because of the trends and the diversification of North Carolina, I do see it becoming more and more of a competitive state, even with the vast majority of white voters voting Republican. It is becoming very difficult for the party to hold on to the state. Now going to Florida, I still believe it is a likely hold for Marco Rubio. I've just seen one poll out of the state of Florida, and in that poll Rubio was up 20 points to Demings. Now he is probably not going to win with 20, but I could actually see him win with 10. Because he is popular in the Cuban community, he is popular in the suburbs, and he will get all the support he needs from the Trump base, considering who his opponent is probably going to be. So I don't think Republicans will have any problem in holding Florida whatsoever. So currently Republicans are at 50. Now many say that the easiest Republican pickup is probably going to be Georgia, but Georgia I do have my doubts about. You see, they are lifting up Herschel Walker as the candidate that is going to run and probably going to win here. But the harsh reality about this race is that even though the Republicans run a candidate of color against a Democrat of color, many voters in Georgia are probably reluctant to turn out for this candidate. It is the harsh truth, and it doesn't mean that they would rather vote for Warnock. It just means that they probably won't care to show up in the same numbers that they would for someone like Perdue or Johnny Isakson or Rob Woodall. But regardless, I do believe that Warnock is, well, not too strong of a candidate, and I think that his unpopularity will have reached a level at that point that will allow someone like Herschel Walker still to win in Georgia, but I don't have very much enthusiasm about the prospect of winning there. Now, the two remaining races are in Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. Now, Sununu, I do believe that Sununu is going to run. I do believe that he has some planning of a exploratory committee underway, and because I do believe that will happen, I am going to put it in a tilt Republican. There, that's a tilt. And yeah, I do actually believe that Kelly Ayotte could also have defeated Hassan, even though she is not up in the polls against her. I still think that she would have a chance, but Sununu is the strongest candidate at this point. So I've currently given Republicans 3 flips: Nevada, Georgia, and New Hampshire. And this is still saying that okay, Republicans are losing in states where they won in 2010, like Illinois, and 2016, like Arizona. But in the state of Pennsylvania, for me, this is a mystery, because is really John Fetterman as popular and as strong as a candidate as everyone is claiming? Because if you look at the polls, he is up against Jeff Bartos, he is up against Sean Parnell. But if I could decide for the Republican candidate in Pennsylvania, I would not choose either of them. I would personally, I think I would have gone with Kenneth Braithwaite, because, well, he is a former ambassador, which is not a bad thing. I think he has balanced it quite well to be both a Trump ally and not too staunch a Trump ally. I think he would do both well in the suburbs, but do better in the rural areas than someone like Ryan Costello. Yes, he's not very known, but as a Norwegian I would absolutely support the former ambassador to Norway. Now, there are many candidates and you could say that someone would be better, but currently I can't see that Republicans have their top candidate in the ring in Pennsylvania. So tilt Democrats. I don't think that Fetterman is as strong as they are claiming, but a small advantage to the Democrats in Pennsylvania. I can agree with that currently. But you never know, polls go up and down, and back in 2010 Toomey was first electable, and then he was up by many points against his Democratic opponent. So this is my current prediction for the 2022 Senate races. Nevada, Georgia and New Hampshire, as well as Pennsylvania, are the projected flips. Please write in the comments what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I will see you for the next video. Thank you.